All right, here we go. Daddy-daughter walk, take 2. First thing I want to say is that we typically walk 2 to 3 times a week. We just don't film every walk. So we're going to try to film a few clips tonight and answer some interesting father-daughter questions. First thing we need to address tonight at the beginning of our walk is, do you guys think Hannah's hair looks okay? Here's our close-up.
It looks terrible.
What do you think, huh? What do you think? You're ready to stand behind? I think it looks just fine. This is one thing daughters are always concerned about, dads. If you have young daughters, they're always concerned about how they look. One of our jobs as dads, I think, is to always be honest with them, but reassure them that they look great. And Hannah does look great. I love my daughters, and I love how they look. They do a great job of dressing modest and still being trendy. And Hannah's a great example of that. So we'll get back with you here in just a little bit, okay? All right, guys, here we are. The first of a couple of different conversations Hannah and I are having. Wanted to come at you with a little daddy-daughter fitness walk and talk. So Hannah was just talking to me about some of the music that she listens to. Now, I know most dads don't care a lot about that, and we've talked about it some in my house, and so I'm going to let her talk just a little bit and tell you what she thinks, because I kind of let them make their own decisions about this, and so she has an interesting concept. So let's talk a little bit. Hannah, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of one of my convictions when I get listening to some of those popular songs, you know, that aren't really good for our spiritual well-being. I kind of start to notice how I get kind of like depressed and everything starts going wrong. And so I find myself coming back to this one station that I really liked on Pandora, and it's for King Country Radio. And it plays a lot of the songs that I really like that are Christian worship songs, but it also kind of mixes in some rap by NF and by Lecrae. And so I kind of get a good mix of like pop and contemporary Christian music. And it's just really tough for me because when I'm going through a rough time, I know that that's one of the big reasons why. I mean, it's God kind of telling me, hey, get back on this track. You kind of strayed off. And so that's my station that gets me back on my track.
That's pretty good. You see how easy it is sometimes for a dad to be real proud over his daughter. I'm really proud of all my girls. And like I said, this is a decision that she kind of makes. And so, you know, I want to support her in that. And so I'm really glad that she takes that kind of opinion. You know, music may not seem like a very big thing to some people, but we certainly have to watch what we let get in to our eyes and to our ears.
Yeah, and it's super easy because, I mean, those beats and just like the lyrics are so relatable sometimes. And when you're working out, you don't really think about it. You just want something that goes really hard. And it's one of my convictions that really gets me off track.
Yeah, well, I can certainly identify with that. You know, I'm an old rock and roll kind of guy, Southern rock, and I really like that kind of music and beat. But as we all know, it's not a lot of edifying the body in that type of music. So certainly have to be careful and make sure that the majority of what goes in is good stuff. So real proud of Hannah on that. We'll get back to you here in a little bit. A little more walking, a little more talking. See you later. Hey guys, back with you. Little daddy-daughter walk and talk. We're just coming up and down a hill. And Hannah, we were talking about her daily quiet time. And so she's got an interesting take on this. So I thought you might want to hear what she has to say from a 16-year-old perspective on quiet time.
So I know a lot of teenagers have been recently into TikTok and stuff, and what I've been seeing on my feed a lot is these young women who are so motivating, getting their Bible out during this quarantine and really focusing on what God can give them through this. And what they've been doing is they take a journaling Bible and they'll do like cute little sketches based off of like one scripture or the whole passage in the margins. And it's really motivating for me because that's kind of the thing that I'm into, like calligraphy and doodling. And so I think it'll really help me and maybe some of you to try and focus on some scripture and you kind of relate it to you and help you understand it.
It sounds like a really good idea. I think to myself, do I really want my daughter doodling during my messages? But I think anything that helps you to know the scripture better, to study it better, or even to write down and re-chew those things that God would have you to think about again in scripture. I think those are all good things. So I'm interested to see how this comes out with Hannah as we climb this hill. It's a big one. But that'll be interesting to see what she comes up with. Maybe we can show you guys some of those doodles and notes that she makes, all right? We'll see you next. Okay, guys, we're into the last quarter mile, third of a mile of our walk. Daddy-daughter walk and talk. And so we've been talking a little bit about the balance between your spiritual exercise and your physical exercise. Hannah is a soccer player. She's a junior this year. We were just talking about some of those things and her quiet time. So I'm gonna let her tell you about how she balances everything and what's going on in a 16-year-old, once again, 16-year-old teenager's life.
Well, now that this kind of coronavirus has hit us all, we're all in quarantine. And so no more tennis season has been canceled and soccer practice has been canceled until probably later in the summer. So I'm out here, I'm like, well, what can I do to try and stay in shape for these sports?
She can have great hair. Look at that, great hair. Okay.
That I love so much and that I want to do my best in because it's going to be my senior year. And so I wrote down all these goals and stuff that I want to do. And I've been working out a lot, trying to stay on top of these goals. But, it comes and hits me sometimes about how I'm not meeting that with my spiritual goals, how I'm not making a list of my spiritual goals. I'm not being in the Bible as much as I'm working out. Ugh.
Cross.
And then it's really bad conviction for me because I feel like I should be putting in that time that I'm putting into my physical appearance as I am my spiritual well-being over here.
Well, that's a tough thing too. I know a lot of people, especially athletes, we have to get stronger to be better at our sport, and we have to work on our speed, work on our endurance. All those things are important as an athlete, but you're right, a lot of times we forget as a Christian, we've got to work on our spiritual strength as well, don't we?
Yeah, it's really important too. You got to put that same importance. All these people are out here like summer bodies, getting the physical appearance right, but you need to put that same importance into your spiritual well-being and how other people see you spiritually.
Yeah, I think that's really a good lesson for not just teenagers, but for adults as well. We certainly think about how much weight we're gaining as an adult, and being off of this coronavirus sure hasn't helped my diet any. But it's a good opportunity to be able to work on our spiritual diet. And so it's a great lesson from my daughter, maybe to me and us adults out there. So we're gonna let you guys go. Last leg here, we're coming up on the house. I'm not gonna show you racing Hannah again because she beat me so bad last time. And so, yeah, but my pants were falling down. That was really what happened when you saw the camera go down. My pants were falling down. And so I saved you guys a fate worse than death by seeing that. So, all right, we love you guys. I love my daughter and the time that she gives me to spend with her, all right?
Bye.
God bless you all.